BBL here, BBL there. What this BBL will cause, eh? Ifeoma just wanted to have a body like Amara's, but she didn't know that some choices don't come with a reset button. Lagos was alive as usual. Cars honking, students laughing, school gates opening. The city never slowed down. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry, chasing their own dreams. Amara and Ifeoma walked through campus side by side like best friends. They smiled and chatted, but deep inside, Ifeoma's eyes always linger longer than usual whenever boys waved and smiled at Amara. It was as if no one saw her, only Amara. They had met on their very first day at school, 100 level, excited and nervous as they moved into the hostel. Back then, everything felt new and full of promise. Their laughter filled the hallway as they talked about horses, boys, and the lives they dreamed of building. At night, they would lie on their bunks and gist about everything: future husbands, their wedding dresses, dream homes. It felt like nothing could come between them. But over time, something started to change. One night, Ifeoma stood in front of her mirror. She adjusted her makeup, turned side to side, and stared hard at her body. Her face showed one thing: disappointment. She didn't like what she saw. She wanted to look like Amara. She wanted to feel beautiful too. Amara, on the other hand, was the kind of girl who helped others. One afternoon, she helped an elderly hostel cleaner carry a heavy bucket of water. Ifeoma watched from the window, eyes rolling, wondering why Amara acted like a saint. Then came the campus fashion show. Amara showed up in plain jeans and a simple top, but still the boys looked her way. Ifeoma wore glam makeup and high heels, but was barely noticed. Later in her room, Ifeoma scrolled through Instagram. She zoomed in on Amara's pictures. Her tiny waist, full hips, smooth skin. Ifeoma sighed and threw her phone on the bed. The mirror lied to her. It said she wasn't enough. Then came a birthday party. Ifeoma sprayed her most expensive perfume, painted her face with the best makeup, and walked in with high hopes. She was ready to shine, but as soon as Chike entered the party, her smile dropped. Chike was the kind of man every girl wanted. He's tall, dark-skinned, and handsome. He walked right past her and greeted Amara. He didn't just say hi, he stayed. He laughed with Amara, talked with her like they've known each other forever. Ifeoma had missed some other friends, drink in hand, watching from a corner. The room felt cold. That night, back at the hostel, she cried silently, scrolling through Amara's page once more. The next day, she opened her bank app and started calculating. She brought out her drawer, counted every last naira, and picked out her best jewelry. Then she went to the market and sold them all. The sadness was still in her eyes, but her mind was made up. A few days later, she sat in front of a shady doctor. He was popularly known to help girls get Brazilian butt surgery. The clinic was dark and didn't look professional. He showed her pictures of other girls before and after. "You'll be perfect," he said. She nodded, signed the consent form with shaking hands. She was scared, but she wouldn't admit it. Surgery day came. The room was silent except for the soft beeping of a machine. She laid on the cold table. The oxygen mask was placed on her face, and then darkness. Recovery wasn't easy. She was in pain, struggling to sit up, but after weeks of healing, the girl in the mirror changed. Tight dresses, new shape, wide hips, and small waist. She stood in front of her mirror and smiled. Now they will see me. And they did see her. On campus, heads turned, boys stared, girls whispered. Ifeoma walked taller, hips swaying. "I did it in the UK," she would say proudly. You know, quality comes at a price. When her parents returned from their trip, her mother looked at her with surprise. "Ifeoma, you've changed." She smiled and laughed. "Gym, mommy, consistent workouts." Her father didn't say much, but his eyes told a different story. On Instagram, her page was now filled with new pictures, tight dresses, perfect poses, captions like "Hard work pays off." People liked and commented, but behind those filters was someone still trying to feel beautiful. Amara, she didn't change. She still acted in church, smiled genuinely, hugged little children with joy in her heart. Her beauty came from within. And Chike noticed. They started spending time together, study dates, deep talks about life and goals. Then one day, he visited Amara's room. She offered him food. They laughed, talked for hours. Suddenly, Ifeoma walked in. She froze for a moment, then smiled and pretended to be happy. When Chike left, she asked Amara quietly, "You and Chike are getting close, abi?" Amara smiled and blushed. Yes. That night, Ifeoma scrolled through her old pictures, the one before the surgery, the ones where she still had her smile. She closed her phone and sighed deeply. Then came the warning signs. Ifeoma began to feel pain in her waist. She would rub the spot at night, wincing. One day, Amara saw her limping and asked, "Are you okay?" Ifeoma lied again, "Just gym pains." Another day, she climbed a flight of stairs and could barely catch her breath. She smiled at her classmates, pretending nothing happened. Then one afternoon, students gathered in the classroom for an assignment. Ifeoma felt dizzy, her chest tightened, then she collapsed. Screams, chaos, someone shouted, "Call the clinic!" At the school clinic, nurses rushed to her side. Her breathing was low, her skin pale. The doctors made a call, "We need her parents immediately." Her mother sobbed over the phone. "What happened to my child?" In the hospital, the doctor told them the truth. Fat embolism from cosmetic surgery. Her father turned his face away, tears falling silently. She was flown out of the country. The plane took off, carrying more than just a sick girl. It carried regrets. Back at school, Amara sat in the exam hall, writing her final paper. She looked around, missing her friend even after everything. In a clean white room abroad, foreign doctors worked to save Ifeoma. They tried to remove the substances from her body to give her another chance. Later, she lay in bed, recovering. She scrolled through Instagram, eyes filled with tears as she saw Amara's graduation photo. Her joy was real. Then came the proposal. Chike knelt before Amara, holding out a ring. "Will you marry me?" Amara, eyes wet with happy tears, said yes. Ifeoma came back to Nigeria quietly, no makeup, no designer clothes, just silence. The confident, boastful girl was now soft-spoken and distant. She sat in her room one day, holding an old picture of her and Amara. She touched the frame gently and whispered, "If only I had known." Amara and Chike's wedding was simple but beautiful. Family, friends, love everywhere. From a distance, Ifeoma watched. Invisible in the crowd, she smiled faintly, then looked away. Sometimes the mirror lies, and beauty fades, but character remains forever. The end.